Yeah, you did. All right, just want to make sure you knew. You want me to stay here?
Yeah, I got you.
Word. Oh, snap. There he be. What up?
Yeah.
There she is.
Yeah.
There he is.
Yeah.
My man. How you doing, brother?
Good, man. You got the Warbaits sweater before I did, huh?
You know. I mean,
got it on my boat.
what's going on, brother?
Damien?
Oliver.
Bro,
Good to meet you, brother.
Nice to meet you.
Gonna be a good time today, man.
Yeah, man. Perfect.
That's what's up.
Let's load up.
This is a long time coming.
It is, isn't it?
I heard you was a GoPro genius.
Oh man, I'm just an amateur, just muddling through it, bro.
We're just
I was just mad at myself because honestly, I was like, I should have probably brought a couple more. Like, and
I'm gonna be shooting too. I'll be taking
Oh,
still
okay.
photos of you doing your thing. And,
so sick.
yeah, brother.
Yeah, man, we've been trying to grow this YouTube platform for Big Bass Streams.
I wanna
So
help. I wanna help.
yeah, it's been cool.
YouTube it's hard to break into.
Yeah.
To get that 900,000 views, right? But I watch the guys that have them.
And what do you think about them?
It's not very interesting. I mean, no slight to them. They're doing the work.
Yeah,
it's
man,
not easy
they are
stuff.
putting the work in.
But it's just like tutorial after tutorial after tutorial. I mean, how about some lifestyle stuff?
Yeah.
Isn't that what this is about?
Yeah, I'm not sure, man, because this YouTube platform is definitely something different.
It is, and it's to be exploited. Oh, I used to have a Tundra. What am I doing? This is shit I did.
Alright.
What are these things?
What is this stuff coming out of the sky right now?
Oh man, the fish are already wet. I don't care.
Oh man.
No, we'll be alright.
Yeah. You looking at the reels? That question?
Yeah, I was just wondering what these are. I've never seen them before.
Oh, those
No, these ones I've never seen this kind of reel.
Oh. We're making bait, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Or are we fishing white sharks today?
Dude, they're out there. Nah, we're not. We can't go outside the harbor. This whole gig is inside the bay.
Okay, so we're pre-fishing for a tournament this weekend.
Correct.
Okay.
We're practice fishing.
We're practice
We're gonna go practice fishing.
Okay.
Rule out some water, maybe catch some good stuff, but we're gonna go look at some other stuff too. Some bigger fish that are in the harbor that maybe a lot of people aren't gonna be targeting. So yeah, we'll give it a see what happens.
So sick. All right, let's rock and roll.
Passenger side for you boys.
All right. Actually, let me grab my jacket. Look at this stuff coming out of the sky right now. You just never know. Oh God. Just in case.
Yeah.
So you guys knew Exhibit used to fish.
Exhibit used to fish, but I didn't see him first. I saw this dude, Big Sea Style. You might have heard Snoop mention him in some of his old rhymes.
Yeah. I know Tiny.
And yeah, I know Little Sea Style. Oh, you know Tiny. I know Little Sea Style too. So, I see these guys on the boat. They got these big diamond chains on, and
On the Southern Cal?
On the Southern Cal. And I had a little chicken shit one, and I don't know, maybe I was 16, 17. And I'm like, yo, man, I mean, we do music too. And he's like, I'm sure he hears that stuff all the time, And I go, and this is when they were at a Birth 55 still.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
And he's like, oh, I go, man, I got a little stuff in the car, you're gonna listen to it? He's like, yeah, So he listens to it, and people back then especially, there was no Eminem then, and nobody white that was rapping. And he said, I played it for him, and he was like, oh shit, you guys are rappers. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, well, we're doing this thing called the 19th Street compilation, would you like to maybe write a song and be on there? And at this point in our musical career, we didn't understand necessarily how a song was built. 16 bars, 8 hook, 16 bars, 8 hook, 16 bars, and a song.
Y'all are just raw.
Just rhyming, just blah, 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 on and on and on and on. There was no, structure to a song, And so we go to they gave us an address, and we go, and it's fucking Echoplex Studios in Echo Park. I mean, a big studio. These guys had a gopher, go for food, go for blunts, go whatever.
Right. Yeah.
And yeah, we recorded a song there, and they taught us how to do it, and they put it on their thing, and it was a really, really cool experience. And from that point on, it just kind of started taking off. And yeah, I mean, you know, I still get little royalty checks in the mail. It's weird.
Get out of here.
I swear to God, because you know, this is an era where there was no digital recording, no digital music, no file sharing. It was all old school, like all the music.
You're slinging cassette tapes out the back.
Not cassette tapes. There were compact discs.
What?
But we were in the warehouse. Sam Goody. I think that's Eric Bombard.
It is.
It is Eric Bombard.
It is.
So yeah, it was that was a
up,
fun
Eric?
time, man. We ended up going on tour with like the likes of Exhibit, the Alcoholics. We went on tour with Bone Thugs and Harmony, and we got kicked off of every single tour we went on.
That's rad.
Yeah, we were wild boys back then, man.
He's a wild boy.
Man.
Oh yeah, I was looking at your page, bro. It's amazing.
Oh, come on, man.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's been pretty fun.
And it's all. I see you like specializing in freshwater bass.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting because I grew up here in SoCal. You know, I grew up in La Puente,
Okay.
but
I like how you said it.
La Puente. But you know, I grew up fishing both salt and freshwater.
Yeah.
But you know, for me, the lake was closer,
Yeah.
so I always kind of gravitated towards the freshwater side of this game.
You go to Benelli Park.
Yeah, that was home, man. Puddingstone was my home lake. Yeah, 15 minutes from the pad.
Oh no, that's Benny.
Oh, what? What up, Benny?
No, you'll be all right. We'll go fast enough, or you won't get wet.
I'm not worried about it.
We're gonna go fast enough. We'll go with
I got
this guy. I love it. But yeah, freshwater, and then you know, just understanding that it's a bigger market.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I kind of found my niche with the big largemouth, and just kind of ran with it and tried to expand on it. But
Well, don't front, man. Tell them you were fishing Paris in its heyday, man. When you could really go there and catch fucking 5-10 pounders in a day.
well, that's the
Right.
thing. No one knew it was no
Happening.
one knew that fishery was that dynamic at the time. Everybody thought it had become this dead mud hole.
And you know, it's a trip. Guys that don't talk about it, like your John Currys and all that,
Yeah.
those guys were there.
Oh, there. Trust me, I knew who was there.
Yeah.
We were all there.
He was there.
All three of us.
Yeah.
So yeah, just grown that and just taking it nationwide now, man. It's pretty wild.
Proud of you.
Appreciate that, brother. But it's good to come home, you know, and
Proud to have you back.
touch back with the roots, you know, where it all started.
Get some salt in your life.
Yeah, man. You know, get out on this bad boy. Hang out with dudes like Benny,
Catch some fish.
Afrin.
Legends like Benny. That guy
Yeah.
was the pound.
Legends.
You know, I wrote an article in the Bite magazine about growing up on the half-day boats, and you know, I mentioned quite a few people, and I remember Benny being the first guy to wear a jersey.
Oh,
And
right.
the first sponsored fisherman.
Oh,
you
right.
know,
Especially in the saltwater side.
yeah, because you
Yeah,
know, we
yeah.
always kind of loathed those guys, like, you know, get out of our chump slick, you know. And it's the irony is that it's come so full circle that now I'm that guy with the wrapped boat.
Look at that.
Jersey, and, you know.
Full circle. This is rad. You
But
guys.
such as anything in life, I suppose.
True.
You know, you can fight the feeling so long, and at some point it becomes, you know, it's a
You
necessity.
we just kind of grow up, right?
You
And-
grow up, you know, and you get out of your comfort zone of going on the half day and just kind of, you know. In fact, I wrote that article about how I couldn't wait for the day to get my own boat, you know, and I'm going to be such a good fisherman. And boy, was I humbled. That first 6 months was a tough one, man.
Well, you know, coming up and being young and hungry, right? It's always, oh man, that guy's got better or whatever than I do, and that's
right,
why
like, I
he's
can't
doing.
wait to get a boat with a T-top on it, you know. And so we bought one, and we had, you know, it had all the bells and whistles back then. This was 96. And, you know, I had like a Furuno 700 CL. That was like the fifth. That was like the 16-inch, you know, down scan of its day, you know. And I remember the first day we went out, we fished. It was me and my buddy Big Chris, and we went and fished the Horseshoe. And we went and got some live squid from Nacho. And this is pre-tournament days, and you know, strictly fishing artificials. And You know, I thought, oh, it was a big deal. You do just like the big boat. You meet at the spot. You know, you throw your beer can over. You double around, let out some anchor. You know, 30 foot of scope. Now you're metering the rock behind you, and fish are just going to jump in the boat. Man. Right. It couldn't be further from the truth. What a humbling 6 months that was.
Well, I think life has a way of humbling us all.
Oh, it definitely does.
Should anyway.
And you know, that's just a kind of a microcosm of things. You know, you want to jump into that next. I don't know what word I'm looking for, but that next tier of fishermen.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, it takes a while. I think Brian and I are very. The irony of it is, we've never won a tournament. We won the first one we ever entered, which was this kind of like non. It wasn't part of the series. It was just like a, you know, I think we were raising money for St. Jude's Children's Hospital.
A charity tournament.
Yes.
Okay.
And I called him. I said, man, there's these guys that have these tournaments, and you know, and we're fishing the breakwall at 2-3 nights a week. We have a little aluminum boat with a bow mount, you know, with a little 15-gallon, you know, live well, and you know, back then the wall, it was a different fishery. It was amazing.
Yeah.
I said, hey, let's do this. So we go out and we had no delusions of grandeur. Just we went and had fun. Man, I couldn't cull any more 5-pounders. My hands were just bleeding. And we went in and we ran away with the thing by like 5 pounds or something.
Oh yeah,
like that.
you guys smashed it.
Never won one since.
Used up all your juice.
Just never won one since. Dude. Got close.
It's kind of like the first cast jinx, right? Maybe
exactly.
It's the first tournament jinx.
Dude. Exactly.
It's like, we got this.
Yeah. Oh, dude, these guys ain't good, man. Yeah. Hey, guess what? Every tournament's not at nighttime at the breakwall, you know.
Oh man. Good to be home, boys. Good to be home. Because I'm about to be gone again. So.
Are you? When you leaving?
A few weeks.
Where to back to Texas?
No, I'm going back up north actually first, and then
right.
and then I'll be heading east again through Texas, Arkansas.
You know, I've been following that journey, and it seems like you've got it down to where you follow the bite.
Oh, there's definitely an efficiency, you know, part of planning.
You're right. It's
my schedule.
Yeah, it's like a.
I'm chasing the weather. I'm chasing the time of year.
Exactly.
Yep.
You know, the fish spawn at different times.
Yep.
You know, the water temperatures fluctuate depending on the part of the country you're from. You know.
Now, even the last couple of years, I've changed species, right? So the smallmouth are now a big part of what I do. Pike and muskie are now part of what I do.
How's that gnarly, huh?
It's pretty bad. They're just big, overgrown barracuda, in my opinion.
They fight for a second and. But it's not the fight you're looking for.
No, it's
fish.
not the
it's
fight.
Take.
It's just like the big largemouth.
Right.
You know, people watch the videos, be like, "Oh, that didn't look like fun. You fought it for like 3 seconds." It's like, well, when you chase a fish over 10 pounds for most of your life,
it's pretty damn fun.
It's pretty dang fun.
Yeah.
When they bite it, when you fool them into biting it, and you get them and you hold them in your hands. And it's the same thing with the muskies, because those things can be frustrating.
Really? Do they act like largemouth like the big ones?
Dude, they're wild.
Because
they'll come up super hot on a bait, and you're like, oh, it's game on, game on. They'll chase it like 20, 30 yards, and then they'll just sink out.
Yep.
And then, like, the whole figure 8 dynamic is crazy.
Yeah, I've always, you know, we've done that with Calico.
Oh, yeah.
It works.
But, like, these guys, like, you shove the whole rod and reel, like, 8-foot rod into the water, and it's pretty wild. And there's an art form to it.
Sure.
And my figure 8 game is much stronger than it was 4 months ago.
Right, I'm sure
there's
a learning curve like anything else.
Oh, there is. But yeah, it's rad, man. You finally fool one, you get it to the boat, and that's what it's about. Because, like, you know, the gear, especially these days, like, they don't stand a chance.
Right.
Like, dude, I'm bringing like the Tranks 500 at them this summer because I got a rod
with not even a musky rod, like you're taking like.
Oh, I'm bringing SoCal
Calico rods.
Yeah.
Or a cut down 90J or some old school, you know.
I'm gonna hurt them.
I saw some guy on the internet the other day. He was throwing giant swim baits. It was a guy that died. He used to make these lures. Andrew Swain was talking about it. He made like a bluegill and like a 12-inch trout. He was one of the first guys to make like homemade lures.
Wow.
I forget, man. He died young, but he would have these really oversized 2-3 pound baits, and he grew up fishing in the Southern California area.
Oh, you're talking about Dave Orso?
Bingo.
I used to see Dave at Casitas.
Bingo.
Yeah.
You know, that was, I mean, I knew about largemouth fishing and stuff, but I wasn't really into that big bait scene per se.
Right.
And
it was super niche back then.
Very.
It wasn't as trendy as it is
very.
now.
And I suppose his baits are highly sought after now, and they actually work really well.
I mean, he designed them to fish fast. I'd see that guy with this trolling motor on high every
see
time.
that like a KVD style, just pounding the bank, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
But he was fishing 90 J's and like jig sticks, saltwater.
Well, it's because that's
sticks.
all you could really use to throw those things.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is like pre-Phoenix, you know. Now Phoenix, of course, has those like a 909 that you can cut down and and get a bait to where you need it to be, you know.
Yeah, the technology's come so far.
And then the reels and
the options that we
back
have
then
now.
when you were fishing around Calcutta 400, it wasn't even a TE back then.
The 400A and then
400A
B.
do the gray one. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Where
It's good
I
stuff.
think we're good. Oh, let me get my dry clothes so I don't get wet. How's that?
The fish are already wet. What does it matter, right, Damien?
Yeah, that's right. Don't get wet. You guys want to load up your stuff?
Absolutely.
Oh, I thought you were gonna do it for me. You're a captain
No,
deck.
Just I'm alright with that. Their hatch is okay. So on this side, Oliver, there's a big old hatch. It doesn't look big, but you can put a lot of stuff in there.
Okay, cool.
And those kind of backpacks could slide under here.
Perfect.
And yeah, there's plenty of room.
Word.
Oh, there.
Alright, do I need anything else?
I didn't read my running lights, so we're
That's
waiting on the
yeah.
sun.
I think it's safe light now.
Yeah, it's safe light.
It's wild, you know, like this YouTube platform is more long form content, you know,
Right.
versus the last few years, like
Where
you
it's
know,
like
we
the-
hammer them with 15 seconds or a
15
still
seconds is
shot.
like, you know, it's like swing, fish, grip,
White shark.
grip and grin. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, we're already probably 15 minutes into this video and we haven't even launched the boat.
Exactly.
But it's all gold. And it's
No,
interesting because the small audience that we have has really embraced this dialogue kind of format.
Well, you know, I mean, and this is no slight to like the big bait posse guys, and again, it's also no slight to you know, anybody else doing something like that, and not just because I'm friends with Matt Peters, but when I first saw Southern Trout Eaters, I thought to myself, this video is going to change the game. You know, I'm a cerebral kind of guy in fishing and otherwise, and I like the notion of
there's
it's like
more
a surf,
to this.
It's a surf video, dude.
Yeah.
You know, it's not, you know, big bait posse, heavy metal. You know, it's a lot of slow and, you know, methodical kind of approaches.
Right.
I mean, what that dude did, I think it kind of, it's like what you're doing. You just kind of say, you know what, I'm going to pack this thing up and I'm going to go for my dream.
That's it.
You know, and, you know, we're going to roll the dice and see what happens, dude.
That's it,
And,
man. You got to
you know,
try.
And you're like him. You guys both have professions in where you can fall back on it if need be.
I don't have that option anymore.
Ah, well, you know, you did.
But yeah, you're right. I think it's going back full circle like we just talked about.
Am I poking one? Okay, good.
That's good.
Yeah, and yeah, just you know, Peters is a really good human being, man.
No, absolutely. I've always talked to him on the phone and stuff, you know, especially when he was back east.
Yeah.
And always had a good banter with him.
Open-minded.
Nice.
Really, really good fisherman. You know, he was taking like SoCal tactics down there.
Oh yeah.
Which was really cool. And those guys had never even spooled a reel with braid. You know, let alone straight braid. I mean, you gotta, if you look closely, man, not those HUD type fish, but on all that triple trout, slide swimmer stuff, that's straight braid, man. You know? And to see him fishing in the saltwater, it's a trip because that guy knows how to fish that bait like.
Oh yeah, he's got a cadence.
And it's, you know, like
he's
burning
in
it
tune
over
with
grass
the
in
bait.
the summer, you know?
Right.
Block does that stuff.
Oh yeah.
You know, a lot of people don't know that.
Oh,
Block's
that guy's a beast with the freaking triple trout.
man and an amazing fisherman in his own right.
Absolutely.
You know? I've known that guy. Shit, you know, he went to jail together. We were fishing a. These are my drinking days. Kids, don't drink a lot. It's bad for you.
It's a solid message.
It's bad for you. We were fishing I believe it was a Western Outdoor News sea bass tournament. And back then I was really into sea bass fishing. And we got a mooring can and all that stuff. we end up at the Marlin Club, which is a local bar over in Catalina, Avalon. And he, you know, he was young at the time, and he wasn't really used to having the 10 shots, 10 beers, you know. So, and he's a good-looking kid. So of course chicks are hitting on him. Well, it just happened to be that one of the chicks he was hitting on, dude was there.
Oh, okay.
And this is 2004, 2003. So he gets into it with one of the guys. And Block's a big dude. He was training MMA before it was cool, you know. And of course, taking care of the guy handily. But like anywhere else, the locals didn't take kindly to that.
And you guys are on Cat,
And
small community.
It got weird.
Oh,
And
man.
we ended up in jail. With our boat on a mooring can with about 30 grand worth of tackle. You know, this is when the Trinidad's just came out, all custom rods, you know, and our plan was to make all this squid and win this tournament and stuff. So yeah, Block and I go way back, man. way more back than a lot of people think.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Because I seen you fishing green bass with them, you know, sporadically. I'm like,
I tell them,
okay.
Call me when there's a rat bite and a frog bite. I don't know if I have the patience to fish a swim bait, you know. Just,
I ain't mad at you.
you know, because then you go with him and he's like, what's all that braid? You know, and I just can't wrap my mind around putting 20-pound test on my whole reel. Like I haven't done it in 20 years.
Not since the half-day boats, huh?
Oh man, that's a whole other ball of wax, man.
Well, shit,
It's
you
funny.
on?
I was just in my garage the other day, and there was in my rafters I found like all my old 90Js and 100Js and 270s with all the narrow spool newels that still kind of like.
You're a Newell guy? Oh, I hated those things.
Well, that's what they work, you know. You can kick the shit out of them, and they would
cast.
and work and cast and work and cast, and I think we're good to go here, boys.
Let's do it, man. You want me to jump you? Or?
You dunk me, and I'll get some rest.
Okay. Yeah.
To get a new boat. I'm getting that boat like beaters.
Oh, word?
Man, you know,
What's he running? The Skeeter?
He's running that new Skeeter. You know, they redid the hull and everything. So
Oh,
the boat weighs
okay.
like 4,000 dry.
Oh,
So it's, you know,
that thing's sick.
59 gallons, more than enough because it's got that 250 SHO Yamaha. Sorry, Mercury. And it's just a miser. It runs 1-to-1 beautifully. I don't know if it's just matched that boat so good or what it is, but it you know, if you're going 33, you're at 3,300. You're going 42, you're at 4,200.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and it's a super high output motor.
Okay.
So if you want to hit that, you're
Gone.
I think it's on pad quick.
Okay.
And
What is that, 25?
What's that?
25 footer? Or?
His is a 22.3.
Oh, okay.
But the new one's like a 24. And that's definitely the one I'm going to shoot for. You got a guy in Kentucky that's going to wholesale me, and
Oh, dude, that's it. Cause like when EJ was running his Skeeter, yeah, that
well,
thing was
that
nice.
was different. That Skeeter was Decker's old boat,
Yeah.
and I mean Decker pounded it to death. I mean he's a guide. You know, he's on the water 6 days a week. You know, and that's why I'll tell you what, that boat EJ bought is. Those dudes rigged that little whaler so nice.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Got your weapon?
Got it, brother.
Look at that.
You dunk me, and
Cool. Here, why don't you go selfie mode? Give us a little breakdown on the game plan.
all right. Well, we got a tournament coming up in a couple weeks. It's a saltwater bass anglers. I think this might be their 14th season, if I'm not mistaken. They've been doing it for a while, kind of bringing that saltwater style tournament fishing to the that freshwater style to the saltwater game. And hold on, let's do it. You know what? For all you watchers out there, You want to film and all this fun stuff? Go ahead and make sure everything is unstrapped, motor's unstrapped, and everything's all dialed.
Got the plug in, right?
Got the plug in. I'm telling your viewers right now, I'm giving them a tutorial on how to not f up when launching your boat. Excuse my French. See everything undone. All right. Say hi, Damien.
What's up, brother?
I said say hi, Damien.
Hi, Damien.
There you go. All right. Well, let's get this thing wet. Double check for the plug, even though I already did. You don't want to sink your boat. That would suck. All right, you want to hold this?
I got you.
Mercury Marine, man. First turn every time. Whew. A little chilly today, huh?
It's a little cold.
A little nipply.
A little wet.
Cold and wet. It's weather. Hey, Ollie! Hey, Oliver! Grab my phone off the charger. Please, thank you. I knew it.
I think he needed his phone. You got it?
I got it, yeah. We're golden. Man, 24 hours of gold already. You got high tide, huh?
Yeah. You know, it's weird. I didn't even check the tides.
I did, so
You know why?
why's that?
Because we were going to go fishing anyway.
That's right.
I
But
tell
normally,
Brian that all the time. Hey, did you check the tide? Nah, we're going fishing anyway. Throw this in that hatch right behind you. Literally right behind you. Yeah.
yeah, I actually hung out with Benny NF, I think Saturday night when they got back in for dinner at the
Oh,
crab
nice.
pot down the street.
At the crab pot?
Yeah.
Benny's a good dude. Benny's like the godfather of all of us, you know? The first to kind of branch out and do his own thing, you know? And is this yours, Damien?
Yeah, that's me actually.
Okay, yeah, you
Thank
know what? Let's not, you don't want this might take a swim. Yeah, you close that. Oh, word, yeah, start in there. One rule on this boat. Only one rule.
No touching the console, the windshield. Oh.
They don't make these anymore.
Oh.
This is a much mending. A new boat's in the works.
Okay.
Right now I got a nice brand new motor.
Yeah, that's
Nice brand new graph.
Hey.
Brand new trolling motor.
Hey.
Front graph that doesn't work.
yeah, you know.
Eh. So yeah. See how this
Sick.
pans out.
All right. Today's target species.
Today's target species, we're gonna so we have a, like I was telling you guys earlier, we have a saltwater bass anglers tournament, SWBA. Find them online. It's they were the first guys on the West Coast to do kind of a freshwater style tournament, but with saltwater bass. We have 3 bass here in Southern California that resemble, not in color but in looks, a largemouth or a smallmouth. We have a spotted bay bass, which I suppose is the freshwater equivalent to what a spotted bass or a smallmouth bass would be. Not as big in size total, but pound for pound, the hardest fighter there is.
Really ounce for ounce almost.
Oh, right, exactly. I mean, dude, those tournaments, it's a game of ounces,
Yeah.
literally. You know, I know that's kind of cliche, but
Literally.
truly in that you know,
Because the
arena.
2-pounder is a good one.
A 2-pounder is a great one.
Yeah.
If you weigh 5 2-pounders, I mean, you're running away with the thing.
Wow.
Then we're also going to be targeting Calico Bass, which are a larger species. A lot of guys that might be watching this think of a Calico Bass as a crappie. I'm sure you've heard that. You know, east of the Mississippi, a Calico's a crappie.
You got regional names for all these
It's
fish.
weird, yeah. And then we also have a barred sand bass. This particular event, all 3 bass play.
Okay. So there's strategy involved, like guys fishing largemouth, smallmouth fisheries, you know?
Exactly, where you know that maybe, and we're going to fish inside the harbor, which means the fish as a whole will be smaller. So, like you said, a guy will target just a spotty, even though it's a smaller fish. It's compact, it's thicker, it weighs more.
Okay.
So what looks to be a 3-pound sand bass can very well weigh a 1.8.
Gotcha.
Where a spotty that's 15 inches weighs 2.1.
And is there any incentive for like spotted bass?
There used to be. They used to
I remember
do this.
that.
Yeah, and that was so. Brian and I had a little 13-foot Boston Whaler Sport, and man, we went places in that boat. And it was humbling because that boat really taught you how to fish the fishery.
Gotcha.
Because we didn't have the range like some of these guys with fancy boats to run to the island, and you know, so we really had to stay local and fish the fishery, you know. Yeah, they used to give you, it was a points thing. So let's say, hypothetically speaking, first place was 200 points, second 199, and so on. If you caught a spotty in your bag, considering that they're not bigger than the other fish, they'd add an extra 5 points.
Wow.
Or if you had all 5 spotties, you get 25 extra points.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, because, mind you,
that's pretty cool.
You know, you'll weigh 10 pounds of spotties, and the guy's weighing 25 pounds of calicos.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, at the end of the day, your check might not be there, but if you're fishing in a tournament series,
right,
that definitely plays in the standings. Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, longevity is the name of the game there.
Yeah.
So,
that's sick.
Yeah, and then, so we'll be targeting all 3 because inside the harbor.
Okay.
We're going to go to a couple zones right now that hold bigger calico bass. But it's this kind of day. If you look up, you know, it's overcast, tide's full, the rocks are going to be submerged, so the fish will be up there feeding, hopefully, and we'll just give that a good hour. Nice. You know, this kind of tournament, since it's inside the harbor, if you stick a 6-7 pounder,
oh, you'll be sitting pretty. You're
cashing a big fish check.
Gotcha.
Guaranteed.
Okay.
But then, I mean, you know what it's like.
So it's kind of like throwing a big swim bait in a bass tournament.
You got a spot first thing in the morning. You know, there's some fish stage in there. You know what they do. In our case, you know, tides play a big factor.
Right.
Or if you look here, the tide's all the way up. Yeah. You know.
So we're gonna have some water movement as it drops.
We are gonna have a good drop today, and not only that, the fish that we're gonna be targeting this morning live in riprap. Okay. So when that water fills the riprap, they get up on it as opposed to pulling off it when the water's lower. I mean, that's my theory on riprap fishing, in particular in Long Beach Harbor. You know, they like to get up tight. You know, that surge is crashing. There's some crabs, shrimp, little bait fish up there. You know, and they're looking up. You know, so that's our plan today. We're gonna do that first, and then we're gonna go fish really industrial today.
Oh, what?
Yeah, we're gonna go way, way, way back in Long Beach Harbor.
Okay.
For those that aren't familiar, Long Beach Harbor, I believe, don't quote me on this, is the second largest import harbor in the world.
Wow. And
in fact, they're building a new bridge for the super tankers because
they can't get under the same.
Even on the low tide, they can't get under, and a lot of times there's not a low enough tide. And you know, in the harbor, time is money. Wow. Yeah, I have a lot of people that work in the industry there. So, yeah, we'll get to check that out too. It's pretty cool. I mean, it's a marvel of engineering. Because
that used to be shut off to us, right? Fishing wise.
You know, that's this gray area because you know, again, for people watching, navigable water is owned by us. There's no eminent domain. They cannot say you cannot unless it's military. That's the only thing you can't do.
Or you're in Louisiana.
Are they weird there?
They'll shoot you.
Oh, yeah.
They own the water adjacent to their property.
Do they really?
Yeah, it's crazy.
For how?
That's why they stopped doing events there.
I mean, what's the boundary? They own.
I'm not really sure.
Right,
it extends, but yeah, you know, like, hey, you can't fish here.
Wow. I mean, you get that in the harbor, like people live on these boats here.
Yeah, they're just misinformed here.
They're misinformed. You can't fish here. No, I can't.
Yeah.
You know, the trick is to not be on anchor.
Okay.
You cannot.
Or a
anchor,
dick.
Or a dick.
I think that's the kind of the big thing.
A lot of times, a lot of these guys that fish in here, you know, I remember one night Brian and I were lobster fishing inside the harbor, deep in the port, and a big tugboat comes by. And you know, I'm in it, and I'm like, what's this deal? And finally, he comes right next to us. I mean, these are big tugboats. And turns around, man, and he goes like this on the sweater, and he had a Salty Crew sweater. It was cool. He
That's
just say
cool.
what's up,
Yeah.
And that was pretty cool, man. That was cool. So, yeah.
Well, I think I'm at a point in my life where like we do this to have fun, right?
Sure.
So leave all that other BS behind.
Yeah.
Be cool to each other.
Oh yeah.
I think we've all seen it.
And you know what? I'm as guilty as the
that's
next.
it, man. We were all young at one point. We were all that.
We were all the
dude.
hottest.
No doubt.
We were all the best.
Yeah.
Our lures are the best. Our sponsors were the best.
You're still the best.
I just want to be the best person nowadays.
That's it, man.
That's
It's crazy, isn't it?
I mean, human beings, best human beings, you know?
Without naming
Absolutely.
names, I've reached out recently to some people that we had, a little bit of tension with.
Okay.
And I said, hey, man, I pulled them together in a group text. I said, man, I really miss you guys. And, I've got an amends to make to you guys, but I prefer to do it in person.
That's dope.
Why don't we do it on the water? And do something we all love.
That's legit.
And I was met with open arms, and
Hey, Chris, can I get a thumbs up real quick and turn around for 1 second, brother?
yeah, it was pretty cool, man. Not that I needed affirmation. I mean, when I'm saying sorry to somebody, I don't need them to accept it.
Right.
I'm just making sure my side of the street's clean, yeah, it's cool, man. It seems like it's definitely just like anything else, man. It comes full circle.
That's it.
Must come down, Those guys, there was a handful of guys that, splintered off to one, another handful that splintered off to another, and some guys stayed to what they, originally did, and now it's kind of like, who cares?
Seriously, it's just fishing.
There's still guys that care, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe they shouldn't. Yeah. I'll tell you something, man. An old man told me one time, your pride and your ego are like two little monsters sitting at your feet. You have to feed them constantly. Eventually they're going to grow up and they're going to eat you alive, man. So once you kick those guys to the side, you're going to find this peace in your life, what I mean? This serenity that only that provides. Once you humble, once you get small, you get back to the core of it, you know what I mean? And you just take the inventory of yourself. Man, my grandma used to tell me, when you point the finger, you got 3 points back.
No. It's real.
Some dude told me recently, an OG dude. He said, hey, Chris, man, you're cool, man. And I was like, I just got these, I'm cool. He said, man, you're so cool, you're going to melt. So there's a lot to be said, man, about growth and age, and in today's social media,
And it's tough for these kids growing up, man, because we didn't have all that eyeballs and like instant exposure to the
gratification.
world. Right. Yeah. So I kind of sit there sometimes and shake my head at some of the young kids, and I'm talking about young, right?
I'm just like 13, 14.
Yeah,
my son's age.
Dang.
My son even tells me at times, like, Dad, look what my friend put on Instagram. My son's an old soul. I got blessed. I don't know how I had such a good kid, but, even he, at that age, in that demographic, around those people, is still shocked at the actions of some of these kids.
For real.
It's wild, man.
Yeah. And, they're doing it behind a phone or whatever, so, they're not getting checked like we used to get checked when we were running our mouth in someone's, grill. You don't learn as...
You play basketball like I used
to. Oh, dude, I played last night.
Right. You don't
so
go...
you run your mouth, someone's going to check you.
You don't go to horny corner here with all ex...
for real.
overseas or, D1 players.
Yep.
And go run in your yap, you'll get smacked.
Oh, yeah. And if you're disrespectful, you're going to really get smacked.
Right. And these days, what they do? They block you.
Right.
And then they create another account and they troll you again. I bought into that.
Oh,
I'd go chase that and argue with them.
Right.
And then I was just like, Chris, you're 37 years old. I'm 39 now. It took me a couple, it's weird. It took me 39 years to grow up, man.
Hey, man, it takes some longer than others. I'm still trying to grow up.
Yeah, I'm not done. I'm a work in progress.
Freaking A.
Yeah, it's just a trip, man. Kids and kids.
I thought this was a fishing video.
Hey, man, this is a life video, man.
That's real talk. Hey, you know, fishing and life have so many parallels.
Absolutely.
And you can take from both of those and apply them to both fields, like left and right, man, all day long. I got analogies, and you can pull this from fishing and apply it to life and vice versa all day long.
I'll give you a great example of that. Recently, well, towards the end of last year, we've had a run in the last 3 years of amazing giant bluefin fishing. Amazing.
You bastard.
So my, you know, we got to fish at 360,
Ugh.
which could have been the state record, but we fish them commercially.
Okay, so break it down a little bit, because, you know, these East Coast guys are like, oh, those are babies.
Yeah, they're babies, but they live in endless ocean. There's no bottom. The East Coast guys, they're fishing them in 80 feet of water of mud. So it's just a tug of war.
And their fish get bigger.
They're 3 times as big.
Yeah, they're the same species of fish.
Same species of fish, but they fight differently. There's nothing. See, our fish can take 1,000 yards of line on a 50 wide reel and swim to the bottom of the ocean, because I mean, there's a bottom, but it's 10,000 feet deep. I don't know, you know. But there was an instance where we were fishing them on the kite and all that stuff, and that was great. But there was, you know, before the kite stuff happened, they were eating like poppers and floating lures. And it was really exciting to see these things that look like farm animals come completely out of the water to eat your
I've
lure.
seen it. It's crazy.
It's crazy. So in the midst of all this last year, I believe it was like in September, my buddy calls me and goes, dude, there's a batch of fish where they used to be. I won't say because it's on camera.
Yeah.
Where we found them years ago. And they're fucking big, man. And we're catching, you know, he sends me a picture, 280, 290, and they're all eating poppers, you know.
Oh.
And you got to fish them on the long rod. But I mean, you're fishing 2-speed, but small 2-speed. Really.
Yeah. So you cast them.
So I'm like, okay, I'm coming. I'll be there Friday. But I've caught big fish in the popper. I was kind of like, I wanted to go really SoCal old school. So I got my 9-foot glass jig stick, a Phoenix Axis 909. It's got graphite in the handle, but it's all glass up here, so it's like a glorified crankbait rod.
Gotcha.
10 fathom, 25 narrow, so it's about that, but holds about 300 yards of a 100-pound test, so you got to pull hard, you know. And then a small leader of 150-pound, crimped on both ends, to a Tatty Lures 14A. It's a surface iron. Joe Shimizu sent me a bunch of them before they went to market, and he rigged them the old school way. You remember how they used to put that ring on the jig? Okay, there's the welded ring, and they put another ring that's like beveled. So you put your line through that and you crimp it. So the fish can't twist off, you know, because when it's just, you know, there's not a swivel on that lure.
Gotcha, yeah.
Spin, you know? So, yeah, he sends me these lures, and I tied instead of a popper or a stick bait, you know, they're catching them on like the big orcas and, you know, like that Australian type, like a giant salmon. Giant salmon, you know?
Yeah.
And we pull up, man, and I was like, oh my God. It was as far as the eye could see, and I mean, I'm not gonna go the size of the fish, but my buddy would be catching them. They were all 275, 225 to like 280, 300. So I learned how to cast left-handed.
Okay.
A lot of you guys buy left-handed reels. So, you know, when you cast your hands on the reel, well, you just learn how to cast left-handed, your hands on the reel. So I run up port side, and it's scary, man. Let me tell you, when you're seeing these fish, you're like,
do I want to tie into that?
I want to do this?
Yeah.
But you do it instinctively, because that's what we do.
Yeah.
And man, I run up to the bow, dude. Perfect cast, no backlash. 4 or 5 turns, and these fish are so up, like they're, you know, boiling and foaming, that I'm hitting fish with my lure.
Oh, you can feel the backs. And
then I just see one come out of nowhere and beeline for my bait. And I'm like, oh my God,
goodness.
oh my God, oh my God. Oh, I'm on, dude. Just... And he's swimming with the school, so I'm feeling my line touch all these 250-pound tuna.
Yowzer.
Dude, it was mental. It was heartbreak. But the moral of the story is, we were talking about earlier, I lost the fish of color. I ate the jig. So a jig, for you people that don't know, it's a metallic lure that's got zinc in it.
Almost like a spoon.
It's a big, thick spoon that we use in SoCal.
Yeah.
And it's like what your slide swimmer.
It's the original glide bait.
It's the original glide bait. And I'm surprised that a lot of freshwater guys don't use it, man.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. When the hook pulled, I fought the fish for like an hour and a half, so you gotta understand this is heartbreaking, you know? Because there's nothing more Southern California than a 9-10 foot jig stick and a surface iron, you know?
No.
It doesn't get, that is born and bred in California. And I lost it at color, you know, and I felt it, so he ate it so deep it got in his gills.
Oh,
but you know, when you pop a fish off, it'll just thump.
Yeah.
You know, and this, you could feel the,
you could literally feel the,
you know, and then if you look at the jig, there was teeth marks on the ring. I mean, because bluefin have teeth, you know, and I was bummed about it, man. And so I talked to this guy, and he just told me, he was like, "Hey, Chris, man, you're living in a world of black and white right now." I'm like, what do you mean, dude? Those things ain't black and white, man. You gotta figure out how to live in the gray. You know, catching that fish is white, losing that fish is black. How many guys do you know that get chances to go do what you did and experience?
That's real talk. Because like, even as you're talking about that, I see old boy there on the jetty running to get to his spot with just as much enthusiasm as we are.
And who do you see in front of him? Not a soul.
He's putting in work, man, you know, and I can relate to that because I used to be that dude.
Oh man, I watched my buddy break his ankle out here one night.
Right.
We do whatever to fish back then, you know, before boats were 14 years old, you
Absolutely.
know? And
for the love.
Yeah, and that dude right there,
he's got love.
he's living in the gray, man.
That's it, man.
You know what I mean? Catch or not. What's today? The 14th? It's Valentine's Day. It's a Wednesday.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Happy Valentine's Day.
I love you guys. And he's out here doing it just like we are, man. That's pretty cool.
It. Yeah,
know?
absolutely.
Catch or not, man. He's out here just doing it.
That's what it's about.
Living in the gray, man.
Living in the gray, I like that.
That's where I'm trying to live my life, in the gray, you know?
How long you been this enlightened?
Not very long. About a year. Okay. I had some life-changing experiences about a year ago that really opened my eyes to some things. And
that's cool.
I have some really good men in my life that show me the path, you know? And I'm by no means perfect, nor do I want to be. You know, I don't want to be perfect, because once you think you're perfect, you stop learning.
That's it.
I think there's so much more to life of, you know, just being a constant work in progress of, you know, constantly taking inventory of myself and my situation and calling myself out on my own bullshit, you know. That's really important, man. You know, there came a point where I had everything, dude. Every reel sponsor, every rod sponsor, every clothing sponsor, every boat sponsor, every motor sponsor. And I thought I was the hottest thing on the planet, man. And slowly but surely, things started fading away, you know? It's not professional staff, kids. It's promotional staff.
Oh!
And when they don't think they can promote their gear, whether you think you are or not, you don't got to say anything.
It's their call.
It's their call. You know, I just got, unfortunately, last night an email from Lucky Craft saying they're parting ways with their saltwater program and me.
Well, I think that's more of a reflection of how small and niche this community is.
Without a doubt.
You know, it's hard for a big brand to really invest that kind of time and money and effort into such a small market.
You know, I mean, I met with you know, the owner, and we came out with Southern California specific colors.
You guys are doing dope stuff, man.
We were, man.
Yeah.
You know, but at the end of the day, you got to remember it's a bottom line game, man.
That's it.
And if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. You know, so unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately.
You know,
but that's why Southern California has always had such a strong foundation in the small lure maker.
Yes.
Right.
Right, and that's what we do as
And that's why the innovation comes from here.
Right. We keep it small. You want to grab a seat right here? We're gonna go fast.
Woo!
You put that up front.
Yeah. Damien, can you help me out with this thing?
Yeah, right here, brother.
Just grab the other hand and we'll throw it up on the floor here.
It's only Grandpa we're driving.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, don't smoke on this 17th. In 3 days, I'm quitting smoking.
Really?
Yeah,
For life.
for life.
All right.
I've been smoking since I was 15.
Good grief. It's a long time.
Jesus.
That's a lot of baits you could have bought.
A lot of things I could have bought.
A lot of money.
I mean, as many cigarettes as I smoke, I probably could have bought a house for that.
Listen to the man, kids.
I know what I'm talking about. In that regard, at least.
Where should the kids follow you on IG, D?
At Damian Parker Barranco. It's BARRANCO. Damian Parker.
That's what's up.
You'll find me.
How about you,
It's
Ceez?
a long name, but you'll find me.
At LBCeez, that's where you'll find me. Chilling with my homies and my friends.
Drop it on them.
At LBCeez.
That's what's up.
It's a cool feed, man.
It's a good bait.
It's not just a grip and grin feed, you know?
Yeah.
You get some lifestyle stuff. Look that way. We're about to go fast.
Woo! In the gray.